All right, let's get this started. 3, 2, 1.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Buckhouse podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Johnathan Buckhouse, and Benjamin Buckhouse is my little brother and the other co-host of this. This is a podcast of two brothers catching up, motivating, talking, and going over all things from social media to sports to literally just two bros that haven't talked in a week, getting on the phone with each other and hanging out. It's really awesome. And we're doing this episode a little earlier than normal because Ben's got a new job. And so our timing has been moved forward a little bit, which is totally fine. So, bro, good morning. And how's the new job?
So new job is it's awesome. I want to talk about it to a certain extent. The reason why I want to say that is I'm working with kids. It's an ABA therapy center, so helping with like behavioral analysis, things like that. So kids with autism or just kids with behavioral issues or speech issues, things like that. And so there's a lot of protection over that, as you guys could imagine. So a lot of HIPAA things. So like I said, I don't want to dive too much into it, but I do just want to talk about how excited I am to work with it. I love the idea of working with kids, and so far the experiences I've had has been just so fun and so exciting, and so I'm very excited right now. But just having a meaning or a purpose behind the job is super exciting. My last job of like renting cars, the social media stuff, but like renting cars to people, like it's not very like fulfilling, if that makes any sense. I'm just like, here's your keys, go have a good day or whatever. And it's like, if you don't get a car from me, guess what? You can go get a car from somebody else. So for these kids to be able to make an impact on their life and to be able to brighten their day. One kid already, or one student, that's how we address them. But he was like leaving and he was like saying bye, and I was doing a training on my computer, so I didn't hear him. And then he like said bye again. He like made sure that I like recognized it. It was just so cute that he like wanted to make sure that I was, because he said hi to me every day and then said bye to me. So it's like he is expecting that from me, and that's just like such a fun experience. And I'm excited to build those relationships and everything like that. So I do have to put like disclaimers though that my thoughts and opinions are my own and do not reflect my company, that type of stuff. So that's why I said I don't want to talk too much about the company or my job or anything, just because like kind of security purposes on both sides of things. So yeah.
Well, bro, that's really exciting that you're out there making a difference, dude. Stoking out the kids and helping people. Definitely a job that has purpose and meaning behind it is way more fulfilling than a job that's just like, I'm here to make money. Obviously making money is not a bad thing, but when you're making someone else money and just renting cars out to people, I could see why you're like, I have no loyalty to this job that I'm doing. And I've been a part of the group of people that gave their heart and soul to a company, aka Target. Had a lot of loyalty to the mega giant, and then one day you wake up and you realize like, oh, there's no loyalty this way, and I don't know if it wasn't even so much more like loyalty to the management, but it was just like, I don't know, 5.5 years, I thought was like, oh, I put time into this place. But now I've been doing YouTube full time longer than I worked at Target. It's like, holy crap. And I got really good at Target. I definitely have gotten pretty decent at YouTube. And speaking of that, did you guys check out Ben's Minecraft video? Because it went live. How do you feel, bro?
Yeah, my Minecraft video, I feel very good about it. I feel very good about it.
Bunch of positive comments.
The positive comments are really where I appreciate. Like, so I talk with Johnathan about it outside the podcast a good amount, and I'm like, I'll be honest, like, call me, cocky or whatever, but like, I know it's a good video. I know it's a good video, and I knew that before I even made it public, because I watched it so many times, just like analyzing it, and I had moments where I spent maybe like 20 minutes editing a small little like 10-second, or I say 10-second, but probably more like a 20 or maybe like a minute. I spent like 20 minutes like editing like a minute worth of this footage, because it was like a lot of moving parts and like images popping up and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, this is good. And then I like watch it a few times and I'm like, I kind of addressed this at the beginning and I kind of addressed it here. So this part isn't necessary. So I deleted, I didn't actually delete it. I just kind of like moved it to the side and didn't put it in the video. But still, it's like I got rid of that like minute of footage that I spent 20 minutes editing. And that's kind of heartbreaking, but it's because I knew that it was like, this doesn't flow with the video. I don't need this in the video. So I spent so much time studying and analyzing the video. I was like, this is a good video. There's probably one thing that I should have done differently, and that is have music in it, more music in it. There's a couple points of music, kind of just as like background noise. Now, I know what you're saying. Like, then why didn't you do it? I don't have like licensing stuff, and Jonathan and I have had issues in the past of like copyright issues where you may use uncopyrighted music, which is great, but then eventually it becomes copyrighted. So it was one of those like rough areas where it's like I don't have licensing for music and stuff like that, so I don't feel comfortable putting too much music into it. So that's kind of where I was at with that. But that was about all that I could have done differently with the video. Other than that, I think it's perfect. And all the comments I'm getting are like, I can't believe that this video only has 100 views, or like, this is a really good video. Thank you so much. Like, one guy was like, dude, this is a really good video. I can't wait to look at your other ones. And I was like, thanks. That means a lot to me. And then he jumped in my stream on Monday and hung out the entire time. So like, that was awesome. And so, yeah, I'm just getting like a lot of positive feedback. Some people are like recommending me stuff. Like, they're like leaving comments where they're like, oh, I really like the video, really like your editing. You should change the thumbnail to like this or this. I think you'll get more views. And I'm like, thanks. I spent hours studying the thumbnails. I think I'm pretty confident with where it's at, but I don't know. It's funny.
Did you know that on YouTube you can get free licensed music, and like YouTube offers like a whole library of free music to use that's not going to get copy striked on YouTube?
I literally, it like showed up on my YouTube studio after I uploaded the video. Like, I saw it after I uploaded the video. So yes, I did see that.
So and it's completely free for anybody out there. So you guys can get free music from YouTube that won't get copy striked. Just so you know. What about Harris Heller's Stream Beats? You're not signed up for that?
I kind of forgot about Stream Beats, to tell you the truth, because I feel like, I don't know, I haven't been paying attention to Harris Heller. You're right, I should have used Harris Heller. I wasn't thinking about that.
Yeah, he does it for free, doesn't he? Something like
yeah, he does, and he promises, and I do believe him. He promises that it'll never be copyright striked and everything. But no, I actually haven't been paying. I've spent so little time on social media lately, other than for my Halo tournaments. Like, there was a Halo tournament this last weekend, so I was watching that. But other than that, like, I have not been paying attention to social media, and so I kind of like forgot about that. You're right. I could have put some music in. Let's be honest. I could have figured it out and put some music in, but I was still just a little afraid of like licensing problems and things like that.
On the note of you not being on social media, you're missing my 3 daily shorts that I've been posting on all my platforms. That, dude, it's brought a whole new life into my channel, believe it or not. Because I was posting shorts, but it might have been like one a day, one here. But I've been like strategically using like some of my best clips that I've ever gotten, with a bunch of fun sound bites that I found over the years. And I'm getting hundreds of new followers. Comments are going through the roof. Attention's coming back. People are getting hyped for the season. I am very pleased with how the dive into short form has kind of like brought some life into my channel.
Very nice, very nice. I also started posting more shorts. It's not that I have, not that I wasn't. I'm still just doing one a day. I've asked my audience, like, do you guys want more and stuff? And they just said one, but I might try two, because like you're saying, it does bring some life. But no, I posted like 2 shorts that got 10,000 views each, which was awesome. And I actually have jumped like literally 30 subscribers over the last couple of days. So I was like, that's dope. And then on TikTok, one of the videos is still going kind of viral. It's got 35,000 views right now. So I'm like, okay, I just got to keep making the shorts. I like combine some of my strategies though. So for my shorts, a lot of them are interesting because I'll just have like a tight, like for gaming stuff, it's like you have a webcam and then you got the game underneath it. So that's that's the format I use. And then I'll sometimes have a title just in the middle that then just kind of briefly describes the video, but it's kind of a eye-catching, like, or like a kind of controversial statement or whatever, just to get the people to watch the video. So I would sometimes do that, or I would get rid of the title and have captions instead. but now I'm like combining it where I've got captions and the title, and like so I think that that's kind of working for me. What do you think is working the best for you, bro?
I think the sound bites, and that's something that I haven't really done, but like like you go on social media and there's the like life begins at the end of your comfort zone or something like that. It's like some voice with some strong music or whatever. And so I've just been taking those sound bites and editing like cool clips to them, and it's doing really well. Those are not the shorts that I want to do. I need to get into a routine. It's so hard when you decide you're going to change what you're doing to like find a flow and find a routine that works. But I want to edit like mini vlogs that are voiceovered. And so it's like I exported the footage. I need to get it in the editor and quickly edit this video. I'll do it today, but of my last day at Copper, and then kind of like voiceover like, oh, today this was our day at Copper, and like this is what transpired. Essentially, it's like a vlog that's sped up, and I want to do one of those a day that I will go riding this upcoming season. And so I just I got to start with one and then get the flow and figure it out. But I will say, despite cutting down the amount of content I've been making, I still feel like I haven't built the routine yet. So I feel so lost, if that makes sense. I feel more lost than when I was posting daily, just because I had the daily routine dialed. And now that I don't have the daily routine, it's like, it's almost like, oh, I got so much time that you turn into like you don't have any time because you're like not appropriately using the time because you just don't know that routine yet, if that makes sense.
I know exactly what you mean. I want to dive into this in a little bit because I still got content stuff to talk about, but it's like right now I'm like, when do I go to the gym? Because my job starts at 8 a.m. when most of my jobs were starting at like 9. So now I'm kind of like lost that hour, but also my job is like off the highway 20 minutes north, which is a little bit further than I normally drive. And if you're driving on the highway, you could have traffic. So I'm like, I'm like, I want to leave my house by 7:20, even though I only have to get there till 8. And I'm like, so I'm worried about that. But I'm like, when do I go to the gym? So it's like, I'm going to have to start waking up at like 3 with Johnathan just so I can go hit the gym. But hey, that's life.
You didn't lose that hour. You just lost that hour of sleep, or your day just shifted an hour ahead. So now you go to bed an hour earlier, wake up an hour earlier. Boom, bro, you're right back in it, dude. Get in that gym. No one wants noodle arms.
100%. I'm not stopping, but I'm just saying it was like for my active routine, I lost the hour. So I was like, okay, got to move the routine.
Yeah, and routines are so important. When you got to get in a routine of being able to build routines, as repetitive as that sounds, but the ability to shift your routine and to rebuild a new one as quick as possible is hard, but it's so important. Like, there'll be times where I'm like, okay, I'm doing the 3 a.m. routine and I'm crushing it. And I'm like 2 weeks in of waking up at 3 a.m., no issues. And then, a couple late nights happen or the kids don't sleep well. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, I've slept in to like 5, 6 every morning for like 2-3 days. And it's like, now I think I'm just going to stay up late, and I'll do like 4 or 5 days of staying up till like 2 or 3 in the morning, and like dramatically change that schedule the other direction. And then there might be a night where I go to bed early, and then boom, I flip it right back into the staying up or waking up super early routine. So you got to get good at adjusting your routines, but also it's so important to have them at the same time. And I think if you have like this stable, like, I do this and I could do this at this time or this time, that will definitely help you like build or keep routines.
For me, I didn't have a job for the last like month, and I hated that. And people are like, "Oh, you didn't have a job, like, or you had this whole month off," but it's like, no, I hated that.
Vacation.
I hated it because it's like, I don't know. I should have been doing more social media work, and admittedly, I was just dealing with a lot of mental stuff, which I've talked with Johnathan about. But it is what it is. Nobody cares. Work harder. But it's like I wasn't in a mind space to be off for a month. I should have taken more advantages of it, but it is what it is. But no, not having like a place to be, like a job where it's like I'm gonna be there from 8 to 5 or whatever. It's like that was so like having that routine was so good for me. But at the same time, during that time, I started reading a lot more, started listening to books a lot more, and started working on myself a lot. So I did take advantage of that month in that sense. Started going to the gym, and I'm pretty good with the gym right now. Like I said, I'm trying to figure out when I'm gonna go now. I should, because I'm like tonight after I get back from work, I'm gonna like first thing eat dinner and then stream. That's what I'm gonna do. So it's like gym isn't necessarily gonna fit right there unless I were to go after. And then it's like tomorrow morning, I plan on waking up around 4 again, because that's enough time for me to wake up at 4, go to the gym, get home, and then be able to get ready for my day. So it's like that's kind of the plan, is kind of do it in the morning, but it's also like 2 days ago, I woke up on Monday at 4 a.m. to get the podcast finished. It's not that like I had it all edited, but it's like I posted it and then I needed to finalize the thumbnail, finalize the description, all that stuff. So I woke up at 4, made sure all that stuff was good. So it's like that 4 a.m. is probably going to be a common routine for me, of getting that in there and then still trying to get my shorts uploaded and all that stuff. So yeah, it's probably going to be like a 4 a.m. start. That'll probably work the best for me, but it's also like if I miss that because of the podcast or whatever, do I go late at night? Now I'm probably not going to wake up at 4 the next, I don't know. It's going to be all over the place. I'll figure it out. I'm excited though. I'm excited.
As long as you make it a priority, and I always say you only get in life what you have to have. If your health and getting to the gym and working out is a have to have, you're going to find the time, you're going to figure it out. Because I'm doing 75 hard right now and it's a challenge, like the 2 workouts a day are a have to have for me. And so I definitely find ways, even if they're creative ways, to make sure that I'm knocking out, like doing it. It could even be like, hey, I can't go to the gym, but I'll do this sometimes. I'm like, okay, I'm very crunched for the day. So when I'm in my office, I set an alarm for like every 5 minutes. And so I'm doing work and it goes off and it's like, all right, 25 push-ups. And I just get on the ground, 25 push-ups, come back to editing. Also, it's like 200 push-ups in. Like, it's a pretty good workout and it's just push-ups. You got to get some part of the body burning and that will work out for you. And that's just like, it's what it's what I can do. And as long as you're doing something, it's better than doing nothing.
Just give me 1 second. I'm going to take off my jacket.
All right, guys, if you look closely, Ben's getting naked.
I didn't hear you. What?
Well, I'll save that for the editing.
I did just take off my jacket again. I different rooms in my apartment are drastically different temperature wise. And one thing that doesn't help is like recording on my computer that does produce a lot of heat. Shadow loves hanging out in here. He's always, you guys can't always see because the border, so I'll adjust it real fast. But Shadow's bed is right here. He's just chilling right down there. And then of course I like close my door so my wife isn't hearing me while she's sleeping. And it's like, I forget how much heat that produces. So it's like, it's kind of chilly out there. So I put a hoodie on and then I come in here and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's hot. It's that time of the year that like we talked about.
It's so chilly up here in the mountains. The leaves are changing. Every morning is like probably like 40 degrees right now, between 45 and 50 degrees. So it's like really chilly mornings, and I'm so excited for the ski season. I will say that's something that, posting the 3 shorts a day, executing a strategy that I've been thinking about for a little bit, changing my daily schedule. Like, I am focused and hyped and excited for this upcoming season. I've already feel momentum, and I really hope I can carry it through all of September into October when the ski resorts start opening up. I almost feel like I jump-started the season by like a whole month by just ramping up. I've been getting comments like people like, snowboard stuff already? It's not that time. It's like, dude, the algorithm's starting to push my things. Like, it's feeling good.
Nice. And I know that we have already talked about this, but just as kind of a reminder, we do need to kind of take into consideration the podcast and plan that as well. Spoiler alert, but there's probably going to be some times where Johnathan and I may have to record like 2 or 3 podcasts in a week, just to make sure that we're getting content out for you guys, because there's going to be times where you're traveling, or there's going to be times where you're just way too busy. So that's just something that we have to take into consideration. So
I have multiple overseas or out of country trips planned this season, which I'm really excited for, like Finland, and which is a bummer because there's a Halo 2 tournament that time frame that we were like, should we go to this Halo 2 tournament? And then it's the same dates that I'll be out of town in Finland, and then going to Europe to like Austria again, which is like crazy to be traveling the world to snowboard. It's a really rad and unique experience that I'm very thankful for. But also a possible trip to Japan, which would be in February, which would be really cool. Getting out to Japan, and then a bunch of US travel. So yeah, sometimes it might be like, all right, we're gonna film an episode on Monday and we're gonna film an episode on Wednesday because I'm out of town for 2 weeks, and that's just the way it's gonna be. And it'll be way too hard to try and record it, but you guys don't have to worry about that. We're gonna handle it, and we're doing great. Ben's been killing the edits on the podcast, and I really think we have a lot of growth this winter once all the attention fills up on my channel. And that's the thing too, is like I'm executing these strategies right now and like going live on TikTok and doing things, and the attention hasn't come back to my platform yet. It's just the way it is when you have seasonal content creation, whether that's skateboarding, snowboarding, fishing. There's seasons for these things that it'll do really well, and then seasons where it'll do really bad. So I'm excited to see how this podcast grows once we have like the millions of people watching my channel again. So I'm excited.
I'm super excited for the growth. And small little shout out, Spotify. We got some Spotify listeners, so I just want to recognize you guys out there. Thank you guys for jumping into the podcast as well. I hope you guys are enjoying the content, whether especially on Spotify. I know it's a little bit different than YouTube. That's where we primarily are getting our views and everything. But on Spotify, I know that's kind of like a lot of voice. A lot of more people listen on Spotify, even though the video is uploaded. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for returning. We appreciate that. I did just also want to answer a comment. Of course, I could have also just replied, but Dawson Henricks said you guys should do a live podcast. Logistically, that probably wouldn't work out the best due to Johnathan's internet situations. But yes, doing a live podcast would be a lot of fun. It's just logistically, it wouldn't necessarily work out the best. So maybe one day. Also, like those things are rad. Like, I'm all about a live podcast or like doing something like that. But in a lot of ways, you got to grow first. And so it's a cool live podcast. Let's put that on the to do one day for sure. A live podcast with 100 people watching and engaging and making it a fun podcast. That would be a ton of fun. A live podcast with 2 people kind of just is we tried this too soon, essentially, if that makes sense. I do think there's times and places to do things. It's like having guests. I still think we're too small to have a guest on. Or I mean, you can be small and have a guest on and use it to grow. But I also think too, building the platform, finding your identity is so important before you just try to chase growth hacks or things like that. Sometimes there's so much beauty in the patience. I 100% know what you mean, bro. It's we social media, it's a lot of people don't fully understand the timing of social media, and there's so much about it, even minute stuff like when you should upload your video. Johnathan and I talk about that a lot. He's like, so you should look at your analytics and see when your viewers are looking, because you can see that on YouTube. My graph is kind of like a upside down bell or whatever. It's kind of like a curve or a hump of noon. So from Sunday through Saturday, it's it's progressively gets closer to noon and then goes back closer to 2 p.m. So Wednesday is noon. So it's very interesting, and it's you should upload your video a couple hours before the peak times and stuff like that. So just even the times that you upload your video are important. I upload my videos around noon, but sometimes or my shorts, I upload my shorts around noon. But if I upload a video at or short at 5 p.m. doesn't do well. It's crazy. It's so important on the timing, but also just like when you should upload or when you should make a decision, like go live, like Jonathan's saying. Like I was premiering the podcast, and yeah, you guys would jump in, maybe one or two of you guys, but I can't always be there logistically, and also for just like two people. Sorry, but it's like it's if I was premiering to like 1,000 people, there's a lot more power of like I need to be there. Like I need to be there for the premiere for you guys, so I can be commenting and replying to you guys. But just to say like what's up to you guys, like sometimes I can't be there for the full hour, so it's like it's a tough decision to make that premiere. So like yeah, doing a live, just like Jonathan's saying, it may not be that's maybe like a later thing when we have if like 1,000 people were gonna watch the live and want to comment and be a part of that conversation, then yes, that is something that we could logistically try to work out a lot more reasonably. So there's timing is crucial for social media, but I also think that I know that not everyone would enjoy this as much, but you could still get a lot of value out of it. But if Jonathan and I were to do a live thing, I think it would actually be better if we were to do some gaming stuff, because that's a little bit easier for the live stream purposes. But I also know that we would have fun doing that. We've done a couple live streams of that, of us playing some Halo together and stuff like that, and it's a lot of fun. But I think that would be a better decision.
I mean, I think down the road, having a gaming channel would be really rad. Between the two of us, or with Ben, or with Roman, you're Ben. But I've always played around with the idea of like I'd love to have a gaming channel, even though I haven't played games in a minute. But I think we'll get a lot of the feedback we need and want from this winter. The podcast, what it's gonna be like. Because the first time we started filming all these episodes was in the summertime, and then the season kicked off and we fell apart. This time we started it right at the end of the season, and kind of we've been doing it all summer, which has been rad, but we still didn't have that initial summer push. So I'm really excited for November, December, January, when literally getting tens of millions of views a day, like bringing some of that attention to this podcast and hopefully getting a bunch of new long time listeners and being able to inspire more people through the podcast. That will kind of direct us into like, okay, what, and we'll get a lot more feedback. We appreciate all you guys you are giving us, but you know what I'm saying? Like once you're getting a lot of feedback, it's really, I've been doing social media for a long time. It will steer the ship to the right direction of what you need to be doing with content.
I'm also just excited for the season because I always pay attention to your analytics, just because I know, like, as much as we talk about it, but it's like, yes, I did help pioneer the channel. If we're being honest, you did pretty much all the work. I was doing like a lot of the filming and a lot of the strategies and things like that, but it's more so like, we pioneered the channel together. You put in the work and everything, but it still is kind of like my baby to a certain, like I need it to succeed to a certain extent. Like seeing you, like I need it to succeed. So I'm excited for the season to see it do well, but also I'm excited for the strategy and hearing you say that like the shorts, uploading multiple a day has brought like a new life to your page. Like that's great, dude. That's great because we've been talking for the last kind of like 2 years of like why isn't like why is it kind of declining? Like what's happening? And of course we talked a lot about economics, which I do believe that did play a big part of it, and along those lines. But yeah, just like the shift of social media to like this short form content is just it's changed everything, and something I need to set up. I'm gonna do that this weekend for sure. But you've talked about like going live vertically, right? We talk about this vertical content and everything, and you've talked about going live vertically. I have the ability to, I just have to like set it up and make sure it's correct and the way I want it to be. But I have the ability to stream horizontally and vertically at the same time. And so like I need to set that up so I could be streaming my YouTube channel or my YouTube video the way that I want it to be streamed, but also stream it vertically to YouTube and vertically to TikTok. That's kind of where I want to go into, because I could see like major growth there. But no, it's like when we talk about your channel and everything, it's like, yeah, the short form vertical content is just like killing it. And so I'm excited for this year where you're making this decision to do the 3 short forms, bro. It's gonna be interesting.
Well, and kind of going back to where the audience steers the ship, like I literally kept getting comments like, yo, it's really hard to keep up with daily. It's really hard to watch all your videos. I love your videos, but I can't watch them all. I'm so happy I got to catch one of your videos. There's too many of them. And it was just like the feedback was so apparent that my audience, which sounds wild, was drowning in too much content in the sense of long form. I just don't think people people still consume long form. They're just consuming and being pickier about the long form that they do watch. So if they know there's scarcity to the long form and they know that the ones that they're getting are the best of the week, then they're more inclined to be like, okay, I have 15 minutes to actually watch a video, and I'm actually going to give that to a Buckhouse video because there wasn't one yesterday or the day before, and they're just more inclined to put energy into it.
Yeah, I 100% get that because we've kind of briefly talked about it, but so I do have, especially with my generation or my age group and everything, but I do have an addiction to social media that I have kind of like, had stronger ones, had lesser ones, stuff like that. But it's like, I've just learned that I need to have some type of control over it. Otherwise, subconsciously, it just kind of like steps in and is a little bit like stronger than I want it to be. So I have timers on all my social media apps, which I've had that before, but every time it would say like, hey, your timer's up. There's just a button that says ask for more time, and then you just like get more time. And I'm like, that's pointless. So what I did was I set up a password on there, but I had my wife set up the password. So I don't know the password. I don't have an option to do more time. So I've got 10 minutes on all my apps, which include Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and YouTube. I don't have Facebook on my phone because I just don't need Facebook. But I don't have Facebook on my phone. I don't really need Instagram, but I need it to post. And TikTok, honestly, I don't spend a lot of time on TikTok, but I need it to post. So primarily, YouTube is the place I spend a lot of my time, and so having a timer on that is good. But when I do consume content now, I take into consideration 2 factors. One, have I uploaded my video today? Because I need to upload my video before I can consume any content, because that is my priority. So that is like priority number 1, upload the video. But then number 2 is like, yeah, what content do I want to consume? I only have 10 minutes, not including the upload time, or including the upload time. So what do I want to consume? And I've noticed that it's like, yeah, a lot of the kind of mindless stuff that I never cared about, yeah, I actually just genuinely scroll past it because it's like, that's not important to me. What do I want to watch? And then when it comes to like the YouTube side of things, yeah, YouTube was a strong addiction in my life. That was something I've consumed so many hours of YouTube, but which both has benefited me from a content creation side, but also has taken away a lot of time from me. So with that being said, when it comes to YouTube, there's certain videos that I see that it's like, that is important to me. Like there's certain videos, Halo posts these videos called Unlocked, where they kind of go into the history of a professional player, and they're really cool. And there was one that was just uploaded for a French player. Halo's always been North America, so the fact that a French player has now won 3 tournaments this year, he's with with 3 other North American teammates, but it still is like, he is the best. He's one of the best in the world, and he's European, which is just crazy. So they did a video on him, and to me, I was like, that's important to me. I need to watch that video. But there's other videos from subscribers that I love that it's just like, hey, that's not as important to me. Like, that's not a priority for me to watch. So I 100% know with those people, it's like, not that you're not making great content, bro, but it's like, to them, another content creator's video may be more important to them. That's just the reality.
Yeah, or the timing of the year, like, if you only have a limited time to watch something and it's the summertime, it's like, Buckhouse is snowboarding, but I'm not snowboarding, so that's not important to me yet. And then it's like, now that I can go snowboarding, now the snowboard videos are important. So I totally understand and totally agree with all of that. For me and my consumption of YouTube mainly is I only will watch videos if I can be doing something at the same time. So let's say I really want to listen to this educational podcast or this thing on YouTube that I really want to watch or whatever, I can't listen to it or watch it unless I'm doing the dishes. Or with editing, there is a good chunk of it that can be mindless, where you're just kind of like cutting clips and don't have to listen to what you're editing. You just got chopping stuff up. So that's a section. Or if I'm weeding stickers or doing a job, and it could be, it's in the background. It's the secondary thing that's happening while I'm doing a main thing, like picking up dog poop or something. That's when I can listen and consume content. I will say, going to the bathroom, man, that short form gets me for a quick second. Bobby be like, dude, you've been pooping forever. And I'm like, sorry. But I'm also posting on short form, which honestly, posting 3 times a day, short form has got me to stop consuming short form more, actually, because I'm jump on Instagram, I make my post, jump to TikTok, make my post, jump to YouTube, make my post. And then the next time I get on, I'm more interested to be like, well, how'd that last post do? And then I go into it, and all of a sudden there's 10 comments to reply to. So then I reply to the 10 comments, and I'm like, okay, that's how I did on Instagram. Let me go to TikTok. And I go to TikTok. Instead of me just going on Instagram and being like, we're on Instagram. And then just like swiping. So it's like by posting and having things to do and things to check on, it's definitely made it to where like I'm not just consuming, even though thankfully I have a crazy, what's it called? Not self-discipline, but like, or will. I get things done. Like if it needs to be done, it's gonna get done. I have that, and like consuming content's not good. Determination. I don't know what it is. I get it done. But I'd be a liar if I wasn't checking out social media before this live stream, because I was like, I mean, I still was. That's the thing, is like I'm checking out social media, I'm still doing things. I don't know. It's weird. I have the ability. It's not multitasking. It's like I'm consuming, but I'm also, I know this needs to be done today. So like I'm doing the steps of like exporting footage and making thumbnails and getting things done that need to be done while still, well, I don't know how I do it. I don't hyper focus on one thing. I don't know what it is. I don't like to call it multitasking, because it's not multitasking.
Power to you, bro. Able to make that work. I had something important to say, and I kind of lost it for a second.
Clearly, it's not that important, bro. Let me talk.
It was important. Shoot, what were we just talking about? We were talking about. Oh yes, I know. So, I 1000% know what you're saying about like looking at analytics. So you're excited when you post a video and you want to see the analytics, which happens a lot. I know that you can probably agree with this, of like when you're excited to post a video, when you're like, oh, this video can go viral or whatever, you have that more like you're anticipating the success, and so you're so like glued to the analytics, like how what's the retention like, how are the views like, how are the comments, what are people saying, right? And like, although that is good, that's also the negative part of social media. If you guys don't know, social media content creators and mental health issues go hand in hand like no other. It's an extremely toxic environment because you are so obsessed with these analytics and so obsessed with performances of videos. And so if they're not doing well, kind of eats away at your mental. And so it's a toxic place to be in, but it's also like being a content creator is one of the best things in the world, at least in my opinion. I think Johnathan would agree on that. But it's like there's a lot of toxicity behind all that. I know that Mr. Beast is a prime example of obsession, and I don't mean in the mental health problem, but more so like, so the reason why Mr. Beast is so successful, if you've never listened to a podcast that he's on, he was obsessed with YouTube. He literally would he lied to his parents saying that he had a job, but really what he was doing was he was going to his friend's house, who are some of his colleagues that currently, but they would literally just study YouTube videos. They would watch all the trending videos at the time, which YouTube trending doesn't exist anymore, but they would watch all the trending videos at the time and see what every video had, and they would like analyze it, what all the thumbnails looked like, what colors the thumbnails had, what was the contrast like. They would literally obsess over YouTube, and now he's the biggest content creator in the world. So obsession is both good and bad, and so finding that sweet spot, it's a dangerous place to be in, but I 100% know what you mean of like posting a video and then when you get on Instagram next, it's not to consume content, it's to be like, how's my video doing?
That being said, I don't ever make a video being like, this one's the viral one, or like anticipate how well it's gonna do. Like when I make a piece of content and I'm excited about it, it's because I'm like, oh man, I just made something that I'm super proud of, that makes me feel like, oh, dude, I'm a rad snowboarder. I get inspiration from this piece of content. Like I'm gonna post this and it's gonna inspire others. I really don't get married to the analytics. Like I could post a video and it could get 4 views and I'm like, okay. Like I posted a video. It's funny because I posted it on all 3 platforms, and on YouTube and Instagram, did great. It got like a couple thousand views, whatever. On TikTok, it hasn't even broke 100 views yet because it's too short. Like if you make like a 4-second clip and put it on TikTok, TikTok is gonna bury it. It wants long videos. But I still posted it. But what I'm trying to say is like, I don't know, some people really do put their weight and value in how viral or how well a piece of content went. And I really look at it more as of like, how did this video make me feel when I made it? And that's all I care about, is how I felt. And I'm going to put it out there. And if it made me feel really good, it's probably make other people feel really good, and it's going to do well. But if it doesn't, like, that's fine, because I made that for me. And then I put it out there. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, it's very caring. Some people just, like you said, it causes like legitimate depression. And I've literally never been depressed based off like the views or the fact that I'm losing thousands of subscribers or followers because it's the summertime. It's just like that, the vanity metrics I don't care about at all. Like, am I making things that make me proud? And if you just start there and stick with like, yo, I'm very proud of that video that got 10 views, like that's all that matters.
That's awesome, bro. And I want to say I would be lying, but it's like, it's not that I'm like expecting every video to go viral, but it's a little frustrating. Hey, Shadow. It's a little.
I heard him.
You heard him? Maybe the podcast. Shadow's been having a little bit more arthritis flare-ups, and so he's been moaning and groaning more, which is just very sad. But we love him. But anyways,
it's old dog.
Yeah. But anyways, I struggle with stuff when it's like I poured my heart and soul into that Minecraft video, and for it to only get, right now it's at 300 views, and so thank you for sharing it, bro. That literally gave it like 120 jump in views, so thank you. But it's like, it is, I'm so proud of that video. I'm literally so proud of that video, and I know that patience is a key for YouTube. That's something that I oftentimes forget, but it's like, I posted my how to play claw video, and I don't remember exactly the timing, but it was like, the first week or two, maybe it got a couple hundred views. And then like that 3rd, 4th week, it got like, 15,000 views. I was like, oh, wow. And then like the next day it had 300,000 views. So it's like patience, like a video, just because it only has 300 views now, doesn't mean that it's not going to get viewed, right? It may take a second. So just remembering that. But I get frustrated with like TikTok. So I don't like TikTok as a platform because it doesn't make any sense to me. We talked about this a couple podcasts ago when Hawk Tua was a popular thing, right? And I made a Hawk Tua video that wasn't inappropriate at all. It was literally pairing the Hawk Tua girl with Flushed Away, the little DreamWorks cartoon where one of the rats like spits on her hand. She like hawks and spits on her hand. It literally was like Hawk Tua. It just flowed, right? So I put those two together, and TikTok literally was like, we're community guideline banning this because it goes against our guidelines. I'm like, there are millions of views on other videos about Hawk Tua, and you're community guidelining ban mine. And then I dispute it, and they're like, yeah, you're right, we'll let it go. And it gets 53 views, which is not my common videos. And I'm like, I wasn't necessarily expecting that video to go viral, but it's like TikTok itself is literally not pushing the content because it just flagged it for whatever reason. And there's so much worse stuff on the platform. So it's like, it's frustrating in that sense that it's like, I don't want to sound like... You just
gotta move on.
You
just gotta move on from it.
You're
it's
right.
Just like, that was a piece of content that didn't work, whatever. the next day is a next at bat. And I think that's one way to look at it too, is like and it's hard because I know that Minecraft video was hundreds of hours of editing. You put so much time and effort, and it's beautiful, bro. And like, I can't edit like that. I have no idea how you did half the stuff you did in that edit. And so it's one of those things where, you know, and maybe because I did do daily, and my type of content is more vlog style-y, that it's like, all right, the next video is the next at bat. And like, I'm guilty of like, I'll post a video and I'll reply to comments, because you usually get the majority of comments within the first 24 hours. I'll post a video, not check back on it for months, and I'm like, oh man, that video got like 400,000 views. I had no idea it was doing that well. Just because like, all right, we're on to the next one. We're moving on. And like, in a way, maybe that has hurt me too, because I haven't been able to like keep engaging or keep sharing or like pushing a video. And that's something I do encourage someone to do, or like, and you, bro, like with that video, like, don't let it die. Keep sharing it. Find Reddits to put it on. Find Facebook groups to share it with. Get other people to engage in it or share it. Like, don't let your videos die that you've put a lot of time and effort into. I'll go back to videos that I'm very proud of and just repost them in my community tab and be like, hey, you guys missed this one. Like, it did not get that many views, but this is a really good video, and like re-give life to an older piece of content. Because you're right, with YouTube, nothing's truly dead on YouTube. An old video can get pushed a bunch and reshared a ton.
Yeah, and I've seen some strategies on that of like, yeah, just kind of don't give up on like the title and thumbnail, which I haven't fully figured out a good title for this, but I'll figure it out. But it's like, yeah, don't give up on a video. And I'm not. I know that it's like, this is something I've most definitely thought about, where it's like, I put in all this effort into it now and everything like that, but I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep making content and everything like that. And so let's say in in a year, I do have thousands of subscribers, hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I can be like, hey guys, go watch this video. This video was insane. This is one of my most proud videos. Go check this out. And then they can go and like push that. And then maybe YouTube picks up the algorithm and everything like that. So yeah, I've, as much as like disheartening it is now because of the amount of effort and just purely time I put into it, right? The amount of effort and time I put into it is a little disheartening now, but it's like, the video's not like it. I have it forever. Like, I have it. And I haven't deleted. I saw you post a lot of people may not understand it, but it's like on like iMovie or in Adobe, you have like a project file. So it's like that video, that like everything that you edited and all that stuff is saved right there. And Jonathan's like, deleting your projects is always like a sad day. It's like, yeah, I still have that project file. So it's like, if I wanted to make any tweaks or if I wanted to make shorts out of it or whatever, I still have it. So I can make some content with that. But yeah, it's like, I have it still. I have all the content for it. I have all the videos. So it's like, I still have it, and I still have the raw footage. And it's like, it's not dead. I can still post this, or I still have it. It's already posted. I can still reinforce it later, all that stuff. So it's like, yeah, it's not gone. I still have it.
Well, and as for the people listening, if you're interested in content creation, I know we talk about it a lot, but one thing you need to realize is every video you make makes you better. So even though the video might not have done well online, it made you specifically a better editor, a better filmer, a better content creator. So keep making videos, because you're going to get better and better every single one you make. If you go back to season 1, 2, 3, even like season 4 or 5, I'm making much better videos now than I did back then, because of not only just having better tools, but better storytelling, better editing, all that type of stuff. So every video you make will make you better. Then make the videos for yourself and be okay with them. And my daughter, so I've made a lot of family videos in the past, which are really rad. They're like the most dope home videos of all time. And my daughter loves watching them right now. She'll come in my office and be like, I want to watch baby Bristol with her helmet on. So Bristol had to wear a helmet when she was a little kid to make sure her head's shaped the correct way. And so there's a bunch of these videos of us going to zoos or things, and she's rocking this little baby helmet, and she loves watching these videos. And I'm looking at them, and at the time of posting them, I have hundreds of thousands of followers or subscribers, and they might get 400 views the first month I post it. But I'm looking at them and they're like 2,000, 3,000. Over time, people found those videos and watched them, and they've been slowly climbing and getting viewed and getting subscribers. I just don't notice because I've moved on and I'm on to other things. So you might post older content that is slowly doing well, and when you have a library of, I have over 3,000 videos on my YouTube channel. Now my channel is getting a guaranteed set of views every single month because all those videos are getting 1, 2, 3. So even though like my newest video might not be getting 10,000 views, the channel itself is pulling in 1 million plus views period a month, which is allowing me to continue to do content for a living. So just know that, and even though it might not be taking going absolutely crazy when you first post it, it is doing a job on your channel. And then the other thing, like Ben was saying, is like if you do become bigger, like I love, and it's really cool when people go and they comment on like one of my first ever YouTube videos I posted, and they're like, dang man, like you were still a good shredder back then. Or like, it's really cool to see the progression of the channel. Like there are people that will subscribe to my channel and then go watch all the old videos, which is just crazy to me. Or they find a really rad old video and comment on it and be like, that was a really cool idea. Like that is a really cool feeling when people are like diving into your old archive. So like Ben was saying, you might not be there yet in your social, but those videos that you made will be getting time and attention eventually once you really do figure out social media and start being successful.
Yeah, and to add on to that, like I've got a short that's about to pass 100,000 views, which would be my first short to pass 100,000 views, which is also funny because I've got other YouTube videos, like full-length videos that have more views. Like that's not very typical of a channel to have long-form content having more views than their short-form content, but it's a video for a video game called Conker's Bad for a Day. If you know what it is, you both love that sentence and you both are concerned about that sentence. Conker's Bad for a Day is a very it came out on the N64, so old game, and it's vulgar as can be. And anyways, I made a video and I'm looking at the analytics right now in front of me. And in the first 321 days, so almost in the first year, it had 2,700 views on it. And at the time I was like, that's good views. And especially for a game I don't really play or whatever. And then it just kept going. And now it literally has 96,730 views. And it took, 2 years to get that pretty much like other 900 or 95,000 views. But it's just like, yeah, it's not dead. Like it can continue to grow. It can continue to get views. And, so yeah, it's just fascinating. But also, Johnathan knows this too. That's kind of strange for a short, right, bro? For it to like kind of after a year, it gets popular again. Like most shorts, they kind of have like a shelf life of like a week. That's about it, and then they're done.
I mean, I have a couple. Like I have one that's just called like Good Snowboard Carving, and I posted it. Didn't do very well at all. Now it's like one of my most viewed shorts. It's absolutely blowing up. It's getting like 30,000 views a month of me just carving. But like it took forever for it to take off. So anything is possible with social media. And it could take one video on someone else's platform to make you famous by you just saying hawk to a spit on that thing. You never know what's gonna happen with social media and the way this world is growing and going. But the biggest thing in all of it is, are you working on your skills and what you're doing? So if you want to be popular on social media, it could only take one video, but if that video goes viral and you're not ready because you haven't been editing, you haven't been creating routines and being consistent, then you're not ready to take advantage of that growth. And in a lot of ways, I've always been thankful for my slow growth. I'm coming on to my 9th year making YouTube videos. I have 220 something thousand subscribers, and that's incredible. But I felt like the year one, I'm like, where I could totally have 1 million subscribers year one, but I'm so happy I didn't, because I've been able to develop and grow and get better and get in a position where now if I do have that moment where like it all takes off and it explodes, I'm ready. Or at least I'm way more ready than I was the first year. So if you are interested in content creation, I highly encourage you to be so okay with the slow growth, so okay with posting a video and it doesn't do well, because you got better, and focus on the important things. Like, did this video I edit make me a better storyteller? Did this video I edit make me a better editor? Did this story or this video make me personally happy? If you can hit those three things, then you're moving in the right direction. The amount of views it got, the amount of followers don't matter, because you took a step forward, and it's just one step at a time. Just little positives, making you better and better and better.
100%. I've talked about it before with like when I was working at Best Buy, people would be like, hey, I'm interested in streaming, or I'm interested in making YouTube videos. It's like, awesome. Like, you know, they're literally like, I've never made one. Like, I want to get into this, and they're wanting to buy the most expensive gear, or this or that. And it's like, how about we take some baby steps and just like figure out if you even want to do this. And it's so funny because I helped this one guy who, he was a gambler. He would go to Vegas all the time, and he was good. He was like, I want to make content of me like going and gambling. And I was like, okay. So I got him hooked up with like a
Vegas
MacBook. No. But
that's
I like
my favorite gambling content creator.
Yes, I just saw a video of him yesterday of him getting kicked out of another casino or whatever. But no, it's like I like hooked him up with a MacBook or whatever because he insisted. And I'm not saying I could tell that he had a lot of money, but it's like I could tell that he's gonna spend the money anyways, so I might as well steer him in the right direction. So I got him like a MacBook. I think I got him with just a simple camera. I don't remember the whole thing, but it's funny because I then saw him at a car dealership. He sold me a car. Like, I bought a car from him because after my car accident and everything. But it was so funny because we both looked at each other and we're like, I know you. And he's like, I know you. And we're like, where do we know? And I was like, Best Buy. He was like, oh my goodness. So we talked and everything. And he's like, I'm gonna be honest, dude. I haven't touched that. I booted up that MacBook and I haven't touched it since. So it's like, that's how a lot of people
spend money like that.
Dude, it's wild. It's wild. But it's like, then there's other stuff where it's like, Johnathan, we upgraded his setup once, and literally it was like, I already knew the information. I only did a little bit more research, but it's like I put in the research for him and everything like that. But this was also like year 6 of his channel or whatever, and he came in and we bought him, what was it, MacBook, camera, stream adapter, stream deck, stuff like that, and got it all set up. And I know that you don't use everything like that daily, but you still use it all like pretty regularly. But it was like
I'm using half of it right now for this podcast.
Exactly. And it's like, we knew that we were going to use it.
I will say I finally got the strong enough internet in my office, so I am totally ready to start doing the live streams from the camera that I'm using to film this podcast. So, and it's one of those things where like I wanted to set it up yesterday, and it's like, there's no time. It's like, okay, I want to do it. There's no time. But when Ben had that month off, I was like, bro, come up here and like, I got some work that needs to be done. We got to do some work on the channel. Like, let's try and set up some days. And then there wasn't time. There's never enough time. Sometimes you just got to make things work. But no, it's mind blowing that people will invest thousands of dollars, hundreds to thousands of dollars on stuff to like, I want to be a content creator. I want to do these things. And they put the money in first before the action. And then they don't ever do the action. Where, if you remember when we started the YouTube channel, I was like, I got a GoPro, like, let's go. And people were like, get a gimbal for that thing. Your footage is so shaky. We started with action and then did the upgrading later.
Dude, we literally had, you could probably attest to it better. I know that your memory's not the best when it comes to stuff. I'm sure you could still attest to it better.
I have a great memory.
So it was, I know that we started filming with the GoPro Hero 4, and then, yeah, it was shaky footage. People were like, get a gimbal. So we got a gimbal, which was like the first investment. Oh, actually, it was the second investment. You got a drone first, which we used a ton of the drone. We used the drone so much, but no, we got the gimbal, which
I still have the drone.
We had that until I think we had that for the entire season, because I remember the day 100 photo I have, you're holding the gimbal. Like, I know that we had it for like the entire season. But then the next season, I think it was either the GoPro Hero 7 or 8 that came out that had the built-in gimbal. And that was just like, oh my goodness, that's that. But now you've got the Insta360s, which look phenomenal, and the 360 footage is insane. So it's like, yeah, we started with literally the shakiest, most just random 1080p camera. I say random, but like, just a random, GoPro Hero 4, and it was outdated at the time. We then got the gimbal just to make it slightly better, and then we upgraded the camera slightly better, and then look at you now, you got a full camera sponsor and have some of the best footage that you can get on the platform. So it's like, yeah, you start, just take action, start with it, and then go from there.
Yeah, I think so many people are confused, and people are starting to address it, and I've always felt this way, but like some people literally think just consuming content about the thing that they want to do is action, and it's not. Just because you're listening to this podcast because you want to do social media and you might be getting inspiration from me and Ben, and you're like, yes, like I want to do it. Until you actually start doing it, you haven't done anything. Like just listening about it is not taking action. Literally taking action is taking action. And it's like, okay, I want to get in shape, and I keep watching these 5-minute workout videos, and I keep watching videos on eating better, but I'm not eating better, and I'm not doing those 5-minute workouts. You haven't taken any action. You haven't done anything. You got to make your first post. You get with your phone. Like that's the other thing that blows my mind too. Is a lot of people are like, I want to do snowboard content creation this season. What camera should I get? I'm like, you already have it. It's in your pocket. Just pull out your iPhone. Like, why go spend $200 on a camera when you could take that $200 and get 3 more days on the mountain and just use your iPhone?
So many people don't realize how powerful the phone camera is. Or just like that you should take advantage of it. It's like a lot of people know how good it is, but it's like they're like, oh, I need to get a camera. It's like, no, dude. I was when I was working for my social media job, I filmed almost everything on. I shouldn't say that. I filmed most of like the just kind of quick, easy, short form content with my phone. Now, if I wanted a higher quality video, which I did do a lot of that, I then used their DSLR cameras. So it's like I do find value in those DSLR cameras because like the amount of content I made just using my iPhone. I do have a 15 Pro, which is currently the like newest phone at the time. Camera's amazing, but I also know that my iPhone 13 Pro had a great camera too. Like they're great cameras. And I know that even like the Samsungs have good cameras. The Google Pixel has a phenomenal camera. Like there's so many good cameras out there. And it's people sometimes see their phone as just like, oh, this is my smartphone. I communicate with people and I consume social media with this. And it's like, you can edit on this with free editing software. You can film on this with the built-in camera. The microphone is overall pretty good. It's not the best, but you can find cheap microphone adapters on Amazon, literally for like $12, and those sound pretty good. Like you can do so much just with what's in your pocket, and so many people don't appreciate that. Yes, a DSLR camera is gonna be better. And Johnathan, if you were filming on the mountain with your phone, it'll probably be a little difficult, but it's like you can do it, and a lot of people don't realize that.
I mean, that's what I film with 2 cameras, my Insta360s camera and my phone. I use my phone for all kinds of stuff, whether I'm filming a short and then I'm like, oh, that was good, and I save it, or a story, like an Instagram story. I'll like save it and like, oh, I'm going to post that on as a short instead of a story. Or if I'm like filming like a video and I'm like, oh, I need a better close-up shot for what I'm talking about, I'll pull my phone out and quickly like zoom in and get a better close-up shot of what I was talking about, instead of me just like standing in here and holding it like, oh, like check out my water bottle. If I want B-roll of it, I'll just grab my phone real quick. If you're watching video, I'm doing all this right now and showing you, but I'll like film better with my phone, put it down, and then keep talking about my water bottle, and I got that closer up B-roll-y shot, and I just quickly got that with my phone. So a lot of people already have the tools they need. I still edit on iMovie, which is a completely free software on Mac laptops that it gets the job done. I can do everything I need it to do. There's much better editing softwares out there. But in the beginning, they cost money, and I didn't have the extra money to put into an editing software. So I just started with the free one, which was iMovie. And then I got really good and really fast with it. And I've just stuck with it now for going into my 9th year. and I've created a very successful business off of free editing software. I get so many questions like, what editing software should I buy? Which editing software should I get? I'm like, you already have it. It's on your phone. It's called iMovie.
That's so like so many people hate on Apple, which like I don't care. I don't care. But MacBooks are just objectively a phenomenal computer for editing. Now, I don't edit on a Mac. I use a PC, but I'm also a gamer, so like I'm gonna say I'm limited to that, but it's like if you're a gamer, Mac doesn't have the best, like it doesn't work with every game. It just doesn't. Not every game is programmed to work with Mac. So I just naturally am like, no, I have my Windows computer. But when I was doing my social media job, I had a MacBook. And even now, I want to get a MacBook, or not a MacBook. I want to get a Mac Mini, which is like the small desktop or whatever, because they're pretty cheap, but extremely powerful. I say pretty cheap, like $800, but they're very powerful. But I would still game on my computer and then record and edit everything on my Mac. And it's because it's just a good computer for editing. But also, yeah, iMovie comes on it preloaded and it's completely free and it's very good. Now, I use Premiere Pro. I wouldn't necessarily use the iMovie, but it's like, yeah, when I started making YouTube videos, I used iMovie, and that's why Johnathan uses it, because I recommend it. I was like, hey, bro, you should check out iMovie. At the time, you were using a different free editing software, but I was like, no, let's try iMovie. I showed it to you. You really liked it, and then I kind of helped finish teaching you that. But now you probably know iMovie way better than I do. I haven't touched that thing in so many years, but it's like, yeah, start with what you need, and then from there you can upgrade.
Action is the key. I think it's really everything. Literally, you take every word we just said. It boils down to, are you taking action or not? I have this saying that's don't talk about it, be about it. I hate when people just talking, and it came from like I go on the mountain and someone's like, I'm gonna do a backflip today, and I'm like, sick, dude. And everyone's like, or they're like, I'm gonna hit this jump. And everyone's like, sick, dude. And you're all standing there and you're like, ah, dude, do it. And they're like, and then they never do it. They never even attempt it. And I'm just like, dude, do not come around me and say you're going to try a trick or you're going to like hit this jump and then not do it. Like, that's the most annoying thing to me on the planet. Don't talk about it then. If you're scared to hit the jump, that's so fine. But don't talk it up and be like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then not even put any effort in. You're just, I'm too scared. It's like, it drives me nuts. It's one of my least favorite things on the planet.
100%. One last thing and we'll wrap up, but it's like, I've seen stuff where it's like, they'll say the word distraction and then like the dis kind of fades away. So it says traction. And then after that, the T disappears and it says, or the TR disappears and it says action. That's what it's like. There's distractions. There's, watching the content, consuming the content, thinking that you're doing stuff. That's a distraction. And then eventually you're going to get some traction where you start doing stuff and it's action. Like you have to act on it. Right. And something I've worked on just to kind of help you guys out and going back to like that, doing jumps, right? Hitting a jump or doing a backflip that's super scary is like, so many people make a problem bigger or scarier and bigger than it actually is. And then as soon as you actually do it, it's not as scary. Now, doing a backflip is terrifying, but it's more so it's like, for me, for that Minecraft video, I called myself out in the video, but it's like, yeah, I procrastinated on it because I was like, this is so daunting. This is so scary. This is so much content. But then as soon as I started doing it and started doing the traction and getting that action, and I was like, no, this is much more manageable than I thought. Was it a lot? Yes, but it was a lot more manageable than I thought. I made it scarier and bigger than it actually was. And as soon as I started taking action, it became clearer and easier to make it like to the outcome, to the goal of getting it done. And all you have to do is just take that first step, take that first action, spend 15 minutes on it. And that 15 minutes turns into an hour, whatever it may be. Just take some action.
I mean, my current action process is doing less YouTube videos. It was like what I felt like I was inclined to do, and I needed to take that action. And I already said it in this podcast, like I don't have the routine right now. I feel like my world is blown up and I'm trying to figure it out. I feel lost. Like it's not running as smooth as I want. But the nice thing is I took the action fast. So now I have all of September and October to really dial it in before November, December, January, where it's really exploding. Instead of procrastinating it and being like, well, this is my routine and it's flowing, I'm just going to stick with it. It's like, no, I literally just took action and blew my world up. I'm trying to figure out how to get 3 videos out a day on top of like putting more time and attention into these single edits that I'm making. and all that type of stuff. So like it's all action. It's action first, figure it out later. Whether that's even just making less content, it takes action to then find those new routines, those new rhythms and flows and things like that. And it's like, it's so weird saying like I'm doing less, but it's harder to do less because it's unique. I don't know, but take action. I hope you do, and get those little positives each and every day. This was episode 24 of our podcast. We're about to hit episode 25, bro. It's pretty exciting.
The episode 24, it is very exciting. Like you said, 25 sounds like a big one, but actually I'm more excited for 26. That's half a year. We are 2 episodes away from doing this for half a year. That is insane. Of course, the first 5 are a little all over the place. We've already talked about that, but we've got tons of content on here. So if you guys are new, go check them out. We've got lots of inspiration, lots of motivating content, lots of content creation talk, lots of video games. We've got a little bit of everything on the channel. Thank you guys for liking, commenting, subscribing, being a part of the conversation. We really do appreciate it. If you guys missed last week's episode, not a lot of views on it, so that's why I'm shouting it out. Episode 23. It's going to be linked down in the description down below, so go check that out. Also, a little icon in that top right corner for you guys. From there, my social media is also linked down below. Johnathan's social media is all linked down below. There's tons of stuff down there. Go check it out, guys. Thank you guys for being here. We'll see you guys next week with another podcast. Peace.
Peace.